ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the C.D. Racoola Show. Today's show will be saying hello, Clarice, to the 1991 film Silence of the Lambs. Before we cut off the skin of this film and wear it around, I would ask that those of you out there in YouTube land go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get all of little old me you want. It hits the subscribe button or else it gets the hose again. Anywho, so this film is one of my all-time favorites, without a doubt. In my top 5 for sure. And I don't say that too much, you know. It's hard to get in my top 5. You can trust this 600-year-old vampire on that. The movie centers around FBI hopeful and student Clarice Starling. If that name doesn't sound made up, I don't know what does. Clarice Starling, okay. Anywho, so young Clarice is put forth with the difficult task of chatting it up with the incarcerated Dr. Hannibal Lecter, whom was a famous serial killer whom ate his victims, yummy. Through Clarice's interviews, the FBI is hoping to glean in some information on the current serial killer, Buffalo Bill, who kills and skins his victims. It's kind of like that show, Mindhunters. If any of you guys are into watching any of that, they try to profile serial killers who are still at large by talking to ones who have been caught and currently in prison. It's a really good show, Mindhunters is, if you're into serial killer stuff. I know a lot of you guys are out there. Clarice Starling was played by Jodie Foster, and she was great. Don't get me wrong, I really do think Jodie Foster is a great actress, and the innocence and the accent that Jodie Foster has in this film really killed it, so to speak. But what makes this film great isn't the heroes like Clarice. No. Us horror fans know that what makes any horror film great is the villain. And not only was Buffalo Bill played beautifully by Ted Levine. Oh, Ted Levine was in Shutter Island, where he plays the warden. That's a fun movie, by the way. Real mind melter, don't you know? But I know whom you guys came here to talk about. And it ain't Clarice Starling. It's the man, the myth, the bloody legend himself, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. I felt like I was just announcing Michael Jordan or something there. Well, I guess I kind of was. For horror purposes, Hannibal Lecter kind of is the Michael Jordan of horror, don't you think? I do think that Hannibal Lecter is one of the greatest villains of all time. The thing is, he's actually so good at being bad that we kind of like him, don't we? I mean, you have to admit, the guy freaking eats people. You shouldn't like him. But you know, when we watch this film, you're just dying for him to escape. And I almost jumped out of my chair with excitement at the ending scene. And beware, spoilers are a-coming. But the ending scene sees him dressed up like some kind of serial killer version of John Hammond from Jurassic Park, following Dr. Chilton, whom had taken great pleasure in torturing poor Hannibal Lecter when he was in prison, you know, while he was incarcerated. I just feel like Hannibal Lecter, even when he's surrounded by policemen and impenetrable walls and whatnot, or even when he's being wheeled around in the straitjacket with a muzzle over his mouth, he makes it seem like he is still in charge. Like he's the big cheese, you know. You always feel like in any of these movies featuring Dr. Hannibal Lecter that he's just toying with the authorities. He's just playing his little games. Oh, he's just having a bit of funsies with them. Just a bit of funsies. Even though he is the one behind bars. It seems. I don't know. I just think he's the perfect villain, and he follows the age-old recipe of villainry to perfection. And here it is, by the way. I think you guys have seen this before. It's my mom's secret recipe. Love you, Mommy. You need 2 cups of evil. Add more if necessary. Be generous with the evil. Pinch of charm. 2 teaspoons of cockiness, cup of unique look, we prefer scary, a dash of ruthfulness, stir it all into your story till it sizzles and pops, baby. Anthony Hopkins plays the good doctor, and oh, what a job he did. Earned himself an Oscar, if I'm not mistaken. Anthony Hopkins can be a very scary dude, and so can I. Even though this is considered his masterpiece, and I feel like everyone always remembers him best for playing Hannibal, he has been in loads of other films, but I think he is pretty darn good in The Wolfman. It's the more recent Wolfman, obviously. He plays a good guy in Bram Stoker's Dracula. He plays Van Helsing. I did a review on Bram Stoker's Dracula for you guys to check out, but only if you have the time, my dears. Only if you have the time. I have loads of time. He actually played one of my goats of horror, Alfred Hitchcock, in the film aptly named, guess what? Hitchcock. Wow, so creative there. So yes, fantastic actor and totally killed it. I think that this film has lots of elements that are super, super scary. But I think finding the death head's moth in the victim's throat is super strange. I guess it was Buffalo Bill's way of saying he is changing like a moth or butterfly by wearing some kind of human skin suit. The ending scene when Buffalo Bill turns off the lights and is using his night vision goggles and toying with Clarice in the dark was super freaky. Of course, I can see in the dark, but I know you humans can't, so yes, I can see how that could be scary. Definitely for you humans, not for me. Ted Levine dancing around to the song Goodbye Horses, playing with his nipple rings, lives rent-free in my head, that's for sure. I know that scene lives rent-free in a lot of your heads. Ted Levine has a weirdly deep voice, and that certainly added to his character, in this film at least. Hannibal's escape from his cell and wearing the policeman's to get away scot-free was pretty awesome and unexpected. I guess Buffalo Bill isn't the only one who knows how to wear others' skin. It's the latest fashion, you know. Through the success of this movie, it spawned multiple sequels, including Hannibal in 2001, Red Dragon, the prequel film, the following year in 2002, Hannibal Rising in 2007 saw Anthony Hopkins step down from the role of Hannibal. Television-wise, you had the Hannibal series and the Clarice series. Neither one of them ran for very long. So lots more Hannibal out there for those who are looking for it. I will definitely get to all those films and television shows at some juncture, that's for sure. The Silence of the Lamb film holds a special place in my black little unbeating heart. part, and it is for that reason I'm going to give it some seriously high marks on the old scarometer. I mean, you knew I was going to do that. You knew I was going to give it high marks on the old scarometer. You knew that. I would like to take this time to thank you for joining me here on the CD Racoola show, and if you could put down your liver, your fava beans, and your nice Chianti, and hit that subscribe button, I would cherish you for all of time. Please join me here next episode on the show as I start my two-part series on the film Warlock. And those films were fun and fly under the radar a bit. So till next time, my little blood bags out there in YouTube land, I hope that you will join myself and my esteemed guest, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, sometime for dinner. We would love to have you. Bye-bye for now.